Hello, everybody. This is Betsy Wurzel, host of Chatting with Betsy and Passionate World Talk Radio. Jeanne White is the producer and writes the blog, which I highly suggest you read because there'll be information about my guest and his business. And I want to ask all of you to please subscribe to my shows. It's for free on Spreaker, Spotify, Castbox, Google, Apple, and iHeart, even Amazon Alexa. So I just wanted to tell everyone that. I have a special guest with me today. It's very unusual, I think, to find a man who is compassionate and caring. And my guest is just that. And I want to welcome Sean Smith, who is co-founder with his wife, who has a Touch of Love home care agency up in Connecticut. Welcome, Sean.
Thank you, Betsy. It's a pleasure being here with you today.
Oh, you're welcome. I'm so glad that you came on. I don't speak to too many men. I don't know why. They don't want to come on and speak to me, I guess. Could you please tell us about yourself, Sean, how you became co-founder with your wife of your agency and about your background?
Sure, Betsy. I started out as a young teenager caring for my grandmother. My grandmother was a seamstress. She had her own business. She would make custom-made draperies and comforters. She could really sew anything, but that was what her business was based making. She made custom-made draperies, which you don't see anymore nowadays, and comforters, bedroom sets, so forth. My grandmother was a diabetic, pretty much in denial about her diabetes, and didn't take care of it the way she should have. One day, she stubbed her toe, and her toe swelled up, and it just never got better. She went to the doctor, and it never got better. Eventually, it became gangrenous, and she had to have her leg amputated below the knee. This was catastrophic for her. Sewing was her life, and without it, she just, on top of losing a part of your body, which is catastrophic in and of itself, she lost a part of her body that was instrumental to what she did on a day-to-day basis. Caring for her at that time was one of the most difficult things that I've ever done in my life. She was unhappy, to say the least, with her current situation. And me being a teenager trying to facilitate caring for her and having a life as a teenager was very difficult for me as well. Shortly after she was released from the hospital, her husband, my grandfather, passed away. So after he passed, and he was my rock. Everything that's good in me and everything that I know about being a man, I learned through him. He was a gentleman's gentleman. After he passed away, I moved in with my grandmother, and that's when my journey of being her caretaker began. She, like I said, it was one of the most difficult experiences that I had in my life. I cared for her for a very long time. She did eventually get a prosthesis. But she was able to relive her passion and regain her passion and so on.
Sean, you were an extraordinary young man to take care of your grandma. So your grandfather did a wonderful job in teaching you compassion and empathy, which I find rare in men and women sometimes. But being a man, I really wish people would raise sons to be more like you, more like my son Josh. And you could take a travesty such as, taking care of your grandma, seeing her go through that, and you turned it into something beautiful. You created an agency to help other people. That's a legacy. That's honoring your grandma. And I believe she's smiling down on you. I have to say that because that just touches me. Go ahead.
And I hope that she is. I hope that she is. I don't want to. Definitely not. I do not want to actually miss my mom, because it goes back to women all the time, because women are the fiber that keeps family together. They are the mother of all civilization and all humanity. So it always go back to women and mother. So I don't want to leave her out and not mention her. Instrumental also in me becoming a caregiver, and what started me out being a caregiver also was my mom. My mom was a caregiver for 42 years. She worked at the same nursing home for 42 years. She went to work every day with a smile and came home every day with a smile, and I never once heard her complain about her work. She loved what she did. And the only reason she retired was because her health forced her to retire, because if it wasn't for that, she would be doing it to this day. So I also was able to see the reward in caring for others in her, and she was also instrumental in me becoming a caregiver.
Wow, and you point out something, Sean, that it's the parents who help form our children, and how you can use an experience such as caregiving and turn it into a lifelong learning experience with great results. I tell people, it's a mindset. You're either going to teach your children to be angry about this and resentful, turn away from their grandparents or parents, or you're going to teach them to be compassionate and loving and have empathy. And that is what your family taught you. And I'm sure you're teaching your children the same thing. And I think that's wonderful.
Absolutely. And you try to, you want to teach your children what's best. You want to teach them what's right all the time. We have a tough battle nowadays because we have the internet and social media and everything that we have to compete with that wasn't there in my time, but we still have to find a way to reach them. And all the time you want to teach them what's best. And it may not, and what's best may not be what's comfortable at the moment. It may not be what you think is the best thing at the moment. There are times when, you're there caring for somebody you love, and your friends are off out playing ball, or they're out, at a party or something. But you're there caring for the one you love. And inside you might say, man, I wish I was at this party. But what's best is that you're there with that person because they need you. And you might not even understand the reward or the blessing in doing what you're doing, and which was in my case until much later in life. Because it was later in life that I was able to reconnect with that experience, and that experience led me in many different directions. It was over being a caregiver for my grandmother, being a caregiver and hospice volunteer, and being a CNA that caused me and my wife to bond the way that we did, because she had similar experience. She took care of her dad. She had a similar experience with her father. She was a PCT for she's been a caregiver for 28 years. So when we met, we had this common ground that allowed us to bond. And right now we're married and we're business partners because we had that connection. And it was through those experiences that allowed us to connect and build this union that we have now.
That's beautiful. That just warms my heart, because I truly believe that really a tragedy, sometimes unfortunate circumstances do lead to something beautiful. And I know in my own life that has happened, and experiences such as caregiving, turned me into a whole different person than I was before. And can you tell us, Sean, what does your agency do and how people can contact your agency?
Absolutely. So we're a non-medical home care agency here in the state of Connecticut. We service Hartford, Middlesex, New Haven, and parts of Fairfield County. We provide the services of doing light housekeeping, laundry, meal preparation, running errands, taking clients to and from appointments, taking them out in the community to do activities, providing companions and homemakers, providing personal care, doing the showering, the shaving, the bathing, the toileting, those things of that nature. We specialize in caring for people who have dementia, who have congestive heart failure and chronic illnesses, and also people who are fall risks. We've been servicing the dementia and the fall risks and these types of clients basically since our business is open. We provide our caregivers extra training or training in those areas. So we don't put anyone with a client who does not have experience working or training working with a client that has that specific ailment.
That's really good to know. That would make somebody feel very confident in calling your agency, knowing that somebody is knowledgeable and experienced. I know I would feel more at ease knowing that that person has experience with dementia or whatever my loved one would have. Sean,
in addition,
I'm
sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
And, I just wanted to say, in addition to that, our business model, because you mentioned families and feeling comfortable and providing comfort for the family, caring for their loved one, or making comfort with the business. We also allow for the first 4 hours of the service to be for free, to allow people to get an opportunity to try the service out and get a feel for what is going to take place and how their loved one is going to be cared for. In addition to that, we always allow prospective caregivers prior to placing them. So how that works is if Joan's family, Joan needs care, they call us. We can then come out to the home. We do our assessment. We do a free safety inspection. But we come out to the home and they say, hey, we want to use your service. When do you want to start? We want to start this day. All right, I'm going to bring 3 different caregivers here for you to meet. Then they come, they meet the caregivers, and they get an opportunity to talk to them and get a feel for them, their experience, and how they're going to care for their loved one. And it gives an opportunity for them to have a compatibility check, for them to be able to get to know something about the person who's going to be coming into their loved one home. Because the seniors, we're talking about a very vulnerable population here. We're talking about people who, in some cases, can do very little to defend themselves or even to notify someone that something's off or something's wrong. So we go the extra 2 miles, and making sure that we're making the proper placement in that home. So we allow them to meet the caregiver and approve of them. And, and they'll tell us, we'll meet them and,
I like that, Sean. I really like that. I mean, I'm not familiar with agencies. I didn't use one for Matt, but to be able to have a trial period of 4 hours for free, if I was in your area and I had a loved one, I'd be calling on the phone as soon as I heard this interview. I'd be calling you. That is amazing. And as I understand that your agency, a person does not need to have a doctor's order, or Medicare doesn't pay for the service, so it's the clients who pay out of pocket for it, but it's a very valuable service that's, worth considering spending the money on to get a break. Caregivers need a break. And I would definitely take advantage of that. Do you hook your clients up with other resources, such as a lawyer or people who can put in safety rails in the bathroom or do a ramp, build a ramp?
Absolutely. We have a handyman that works actually with our company. We actually have connections with other businesses in our community and other communities that when we refer a client or we come and get the services are delivered at a discount because they're coming through us. And we help. And what my wife wanted and when we started the business is that we wanted to be able to help our clients or help the seniors to be able to obtain anything they needed, and we would assist them in that process. So we would know who to refer them to, who to recommend. We'd have somebody on that we know that is trustworthy and reputable, that we can say, hey, we need some work done with whatever, whether it be landscaping, hanging sheet rock, or if it be an estate attorney to help them with things to deal with their finances or their estate. We wanted to have people here that we could say, here, we're going to refer this person, we're going to refer you to this person, and know that this person is trustworthy and this person is going to do right by him. Because you're spending time with them in the home, and you're with them so much, you develop a relationship. They develop a trust for you. So you're the person that they come to in those times of need. So
I like that, Sean. I like what your company does because, as you know, the elderly people do fear having a stranger in the home, or even maybe someone who has dementia does. I know Matt, my husband, did not like strangers in the home. And so if somebody needs a ramp built or they need something like a shower head done, you are sending people that they could feel comfortable with, that have been, checked out. And that's a great service because a lot of elderly people, they don't know who to call. They don't know what to do. They don't even know about these resources. And this is why I like having people coming on my show, like yourself, Sean, that are offering a valuable service for caregivers who need it. And I wish, personally, that I knew about agencies. I mean, I'm in New Jersey, but I wish I knew about agencies like yours that could have helped me with Matt, and that would have been worth paying for. Caregivers are stressed out. They need a break. This is a way you could get a break, caregivers. If you live in Connecticut, I would be on my computer and on my phone immediately after hearing Sean speak because I would want to check out your agency if I had a loved one that needed your service, because I think it's a wonderful way to get some respite, even if it's for an hour, to go out shopping or do whatever you have to do. I think that's really incredibly kind that your company offers that. And, especially with dementia clients, Sean, it's all about how you approach the person. And from my experience with Matt's hospice, they didn't approach him correctly. So, of course, he was agitated. So, getting 4 free hours, that way you get to see how that person or persons will interact with your loved one. I mean, that's just phenomenal that you offer that. I just think that's incredible. I think that's very kind and generous. I don't know of any company right now off the top of my head that offers that. So that's really great. How is your company doing at this time with COVID?
Well, COVID did it put a damper on most businesses, where you had and naturally so, and understandably so, because when you have the you had the lockdown going on, a lot of businesses were closed. People were working from home, so naturally, being at home, they're going to care for their loved ones that they have there. A lot of people use our services during working hours to take care of their parents or loved one while they're at work, and then they come home, and then the caregiver is able to leave. During the lockdown, people were home, so some people postponed services while they were home or while they were off, and they took care of their family member while they were off, which is understandable because they got an opportunity to save some money. But coming out of it, we're seeing an increase in people wanting to get services because a lot of people are not comfortable with facilities because of the way they handled COVID. And
right.
And understandably so. But one more, our company has a lot of unique offerings for my area. One of the things that, my wife and I, our company takes pride in, is that if a person wants to leave a facility, we have the technology, because we partner with electronic caregiver, that we can actually turn someone's home into almost assisted living right there in their home, where they'd have, a smart health hub in their home. They'd have emergency buttons to push in the home if in case of an emergency. It would take them right to a call center, which the call center would direct them to the proper emergency services that they need, stay on the line with them until the emergency services were right there kneeling down beside them. So through the hub, they would get access to on-call doctor. They'd have access to specialists right there from their home, where they wouldn't even have to leave home from telemedicine. So we have a lot of things that we offer that are not being offered by other agencies here in the area. And, our business is, it's growing. It doesn't necessarily grow as fast as I would like at times, but it's growing at its own proper pace. And we're just trying to get ourselves out there a little more so that people are aware of our services and that they can take advantage of it and have the added protections that we offer.
That sounds really great. Were your workers going out during the COVID time to people's houses?
Yes. Some were going to houses, some were going into facilities, because we have some that live in, independent living and retirement communities. So yes, they were going out.
Oh, okay. Because I know some people, were leery about having people in their house, and then there's some I heard in groups that even some nursing agencies and hospices weren't coming into people's houses unless it was definitely needed. It had to be an extreme case for them to come out. Not everywhere, but I did see that in a lot of Facebook groups. And that is, great to know that you're a reliable company. I love what your company does.
Right. Yeah. And you have to, and again, I talked about the gift of having cared for someone, having cared for my grandmother, and it truly was a gift because it gave me a deeper understanding. And just being a caregiver overall, like I said, my wife has 28 years of experience. I have 15. But it gives you a deeper understanding of the needs of the community and what's important. So one of the things that we pride ourselves on, and we pride ourselves on one thing, we want to do the best possible cancer.
Are you there, Sean?
You're scheduled to have your services there, and we have not yet had to cancel. And that's something that we pride ourselves on, because we know that there's a vulnerable population, a vulnerable person.
I don't know if we lost connection.
I'm here.
Oh, there you were, Sean.
Yeah.
That dropped. Yes, when you have been a caregiver, you definitely understand what it is like. And I feel that you're more compassionate in taking care of someone else's loved one, because you know how you would want your loved one to be treated. And that is a special gift. And, you know, when you are faced with being a caregiver, it can teach you many lessons if you let it. Well, thank you, Sean, for coming on today. Is there anything else you would like to tell people about your company or yourself?
I'm sorry, Betsy, we broke up a little bit.
Thank you for coming on today. Is there anything else you would like people to know about yourself, your company?
Yes, just know that we are here. You don't need to be a client to contact us, or you don't even need to be in Connecticut to contact us if you need help. We have some friends and affiliate companies down there in the area which we can direct you to if you're in need of services. And we are here. So whatever the issue, whatever the problem, feel free to reach out to us, because we came in this business to help others, and we want to do everything we can in our power to make sure that we connect people with resources that they need.
Oh, great. So you have affiliates or contacts in other states. Is that just the tri-state area, or is it across the U.S.?
No, ma'am. It's across the U.S.
Oh, great. Oh, that's good to know. Sean, how can people contact you? I know the information will be in the blog, but if they wanted to contact you personally, how can they do that if you wanted them to?
Sure. They can give me a call. I'll give my number. My number is 860-606-7052. That is our business number. That will bring you directly to me. And I encourage everyone to use it. Feel free to reach out with any questions if you have concerns. Also, we are beginning a new Facebook group called CT Seniors. It's called CT Seniors because when we first established it, we were making it for Connecticut seniors, but we said no, we don't want to limit it to Connecticut seniors. We want any seniors who want to join to be able to avail themselves of the information and resources that are going to be in the group. So this Facebook group is going to be opening up during the course of this week for people to be able to join. And in it, a part of the group is going to be doctors, nurses, caregivers, state attorneys. We're going to be doing live interviews with some of those individuals. Hopefully Betsy is going to be a part of our group as well.
Sure.
And we are going to be bringing resources and information to the community, answering a lot of questions that I know that people have and have had and haven't been able to get a solid answer to. And it's going to be a place to go when you need answers, you need help, for caregivers, for seniors and their caregivers. And it's all free of charge.
Wow, that sounds great. You better believe I'll be part of that group, Sean. Thank you. I feel honored to be asked. And what is the name of your group that you have now on Facebook? Is that a private group, or you don't have to give that name? I was just wondering.
No, Family Caregiver Resources.
Caregiver Resources.
You actually are a part of that group. If you can put in a request to join and actually admit them. based on the answers to the pre-questions. That
yes,
group also
and go ahead.
That group also has information and resources in there, and that group is that we are actually getting ready to launch. And when it comes down to, we want this group to be a lot more interactive. So we'll be hosting live interviews. We're going to be providing an abundance of information. We're going to allow time for question and answers, and a lot of different things right there in the group.
Wow. So, listeners, I would join. That is the letter C and the letter P. Seniors will be on Facebook.
CT Seniors, yes.
Yes, excellent. And I want to thank you, Sean, for coming on Chatting with Betsy. And not only that, but you let me post my shows in your group, which I thank you for, because a lot of administrators don't let people post shows in their group. But as you know, mine show is to help the caregivers and to help people. And that's the goal of, Chatting with Betsy. Thank you, Sean, for coming on. I really appreciate it. Folks, if you live in Connecticut, you're welcome. I would definitely get in touch with Sean. If you live outside of Connecticut and you want to get in touch with Sean, find out about his affiliates in other states, call him. Join the CP Seniors Group, the Family Caregiver Resources. These are available for free. And as a former caregiver, I could tell you, caregivers need help. Caregivers, get the resources that you need. Get the education that you need. Be informed. Knowledge is power. I can't say that enough. And I would definitely will be joining, without question, Sean's CP Seniors Group. And I just want to tell everyone, please share this show. Please subscribe to my show. And be kind, be safe, and just shine your light bright, because the world needs it. And I want to thank everybody again for listening. My shows are heard on Google, Apple, iHeart, CastBox, to name a few, Spreaker, Spotify. So please subscribe. It's for free. And this is Betsy Wurzel, host of Chatting with Betsy and Passionate World Talk Radio. Till I talk to you again, be blessed. Bye-bye, everybody.